Today on DNVR Buffs Live, we are going through the top 10 what-ifs of the Coach Prime era. And someone somewhere is saying this is peak off-season content because, yes, it is the peak of the off-season. So let's do it.
Buff Nation,
Let's go.
Squad! Coming to you live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. It's a what-if edition of DNVR Buffs Live. We got 10 of these things.
Yes.
First off, what's up, boys?
What is up? It's rank week, of course, here at DNVR. Every year we kind of rank something different. This year, the people decided they want rank what-ifs. So we were going to go maybe back all the what-ifs in Buffs history. Then we realized there's so many what-ifs just in the last couple of years that we could probably just do what-ifs of the Coach Prime era and really narrow it down. I think this is going to be fun. Fun exercise.
Yeah.
It will be.
I bet the chat is going to love every moment of it.
I'm sure. Especially the last one. So there, as you mentioned, we're doing the Prime era. I'm sure there's some others, obviously, before mine and Scott's time. We can get to those at the end of the show.
Sure.
Like historical ones. And then we'll recap the list. Let's just get right into it then. Number 10, what if of the Coach Prime era is if the House versus NCAA settlement happened sooner. Obviously, the Buffs and Rick George, they've been preparing for this for a while. They didn't spend like crazy in the portal or on recruiting to try and jam a bunch of deals in before this came through. They just wanted to be set to go and ready for when it dropped at the start of this month. But we've talked about it ever since this like announcement came out that this lawsuit was coming, that these changes, the revenue share era was coming to college football, and how Colorado was kind of built for this.
Yeah, and I nominated this one because I believe that if Coach Prime was a head coach in college football 10 years ago, his powers would have been even multiplied. Because back then, it was only really about finding a school that fits you, finding a coach that you really like, and finding an opportunity. And it would, there's always money involved, especially at the highest level of recruiting. And so, maybe there's a little bit of difficulties with the top of the line players. But I really think that Coach Prime, when not just having to compete against dollars and cents, will become an even more powerful figure in the recruiting realm. And so that's why I said, well, what if this had happened 2 years sooner? What if when Coach Prime gets here, NIL is kind of gone and it's all just about merit? And that's where I think we're really going to see recruiting start to blow up.
Well, and that's something that I think we kind of forget about is the start of the Coach Prime era. This team had like crazy transfer portal restrictions just from, archaic like rules and laws the university had basically. So they were already behind at the start of the transfer portal era, kept on continually falling behind. COVID happens, and then it's like they fall off the map. So Coach Prime had to come in here, and really the reason why he's here is because they were able to fix those things, open it up more for him to go get players, one, out of the portal. I mean, obviously that was massive for them. But also, I mean, the NIL stuff that got going, the 5430 Foundation, like it wasn't until Prime got here.
Yeah, how many players have we missed out on because someone else cut a bigger check?
Yes.
Yeah, and nothing is going to be, I think, ever equal when it comes to recruiting in college football and whatnot. But I think if things were more on an even playing field, Colorado would be one of the top schools when it comes to recruiting because of the head man in charge. I think even because of what they've shown from a recruiting standpoint, being able to land a Jordan Seaton, being able to land a Julian Lewis. If like you said, if things I think were a bit more even and dollars and cents were in the top priority for a lot of these top guys, and it was just about, I want to play for somebody who is a Pro Football Hall of Famer, one of the best football players ever, who has assembled a staff of other elite former NFL players. I think if that was top of the mind, where money was, maybe ancillary in terms of priorities for some of these guys, Colorado would just be in a completely different, I think, atmosphere when it comes to recruiting in the college football landscape.
And every time like a massive name enters the transfer portal, within like a few hours, it kind of comes out like, yeah, he's looking for the biggest offer.
Mm-hmm.
We instantly just like count ourselves out, right?
Right.
We're not going to be able to pay the 5 to 10 million or whatever for one guy. And I just think if that wasn't a part of this from the beginning of the Coach Prime era, we'd be even further along.
Yeah.
The good news is it is in place now.
Yes.
And we're going to see kind of how this CSC thing goes, and if they actually are able to kind of cut the legs off of the collectives who are just straight up pay for play with these guys. But if they actually nail this, and if they're able to make it so you can't just write checks from a collective to a player for nothing, I think you're going to see recruiting really start to skyrocket.
Yeah. I mean, this is such an interesting one. I mean, I think if you let 2 years go by, this could potentially be the number one what if of the entire like Coach Prime era, but we just don't know how it's all going to shake out right now, so we're all learning together. Number 9. What if Cormani McClain worked out? What if he just, he bought into the program, bought into coach, what he was trying to tell him, he was such a young kid. Like, you almost can't even fault him when he got here. And now you look at him, and it's clear that maybe it was a change of scenery, maybe it was going home. But he's really catching on at Florida, started to transform his body, is going to be in the conversation to start. Like, he's playing like a 5-star player almost.
I can already see the chat being like, why are we talking about this? But it is an interesting kind of like thought exercise to go through. And to me, I look back at the fact that Cormani McClain was a top 4 all-time rated corner, I believe, by the recruiting services. And so as much as I actually like what we have at the position now, if he lives up to that, you're talking about a future first-round pick across from a future first-round pick.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that is exciting to think about, in this what-if scenario. I think the lesson learned here is it just never as simple as it seems in college football. You're dealing with very young people, and you take a young person and put them into a completely new situation for the first time in their lives, and everyone reacts differently.
Yeah.
And so it's a big what if, because this secondary would be pretty special if there was 2 first-round picks sitting in it right now.
And you saw the flashes in the USC game.
Yeah.
You did. Like, imagine if he, came back as a sophomore last year, right, at Colorado, playing opposite of Travis with DJ out there and Preston out there and Colton still out there. Like, that would have been like an all-time like secondary cornerback room we're talking about. And he is that type of talent. He still is that type of talent. I think he's going to really burst onto the scene, I think, at Florida. And we don't know what it was, whether it was maybe sometimes guys just need a reminder or, an eye-opener. And I don't know if that's the case there with Cormani, but it seems that he's on the right track. And I wonder if, too, just for this recruiting staff, if, like, that was kind of a lesson, like, to use the word that you use. This staff clearly hasn't really gone after 5 stars and even as many 4 stars as some people would like. And I wonder if that's, like, we're really chasing fit more than anything. We want to make sure guys fit with our coaching staff, with our guys in our locker room. And it could be a lesson, I think, for both Cormani and this recruiting staff here at Colorado. And I think it's clearly worked out for both sides. And yeah, we wish him the best, but what if, right? That's a pretty big one, because that could have been crazy.
And, the 5 stars that they've added since are Jordan Seaton and Julian Lewis.
Yep.
And it's obvious that both of those guys are great fits.
Right.
So it's not as if they're like, oh, we don't need 5 stars anymore.
Yeah.
All 5 stars are bad. It's more like if we're going to put that type of time and resources into someone,
Yes.
we want to make sure that they are just cut from a certain cloth. And I really don't mean that to say anything bad about Cormani. Cormani was just really young, and I don't know if he was quite ready to move all the way across the country and be on his own.
That's a big one too. Moving across the country as an 18-year-old, like away from your family for the first time, for sure.
And I want to finish this by saying I wish nothing but the best for
course.
Cormani, honestly.
Definitely.
I hope that he balls out at Florida this year and still ends up being a first-round pick in the NFL draft.
I mean, all the reports coming out of Gainesville are that he's done really well since showing up. And also just shout out to him for like one of the most fun 2-month stretches of the era, his recruitment.
That was fun.
That was electric.
It was fun.
Another one that might get people riled up. Number 8. What if Dylan Edwards didn't enter the transfer portal? This one stung.
For what it's worth, really quick, if you're watching right now and you're like, I don't know if I want to live through all these nightmares again. I think that these get more fun as they go
They do.
on.
Yes, they do. They do.
I didn't even think about the fact that we would be going in reverse order. What I'll say about this is that I don't think Dylan Edwards would have transformed the running game last year. I think that Dylan Edwards would have very much helped the running game last year. And so the what if, that's why it's lower on the list to me, all the way down at number 8, is like, I don't think it's just one of those things where it's just like, oh, yep, if Dylan stayed, then they would have just had a running game last year and then they could have competed for a national championship. But you would have had a guy that puts stress on the defense in the backfield at all times. And for as explosive an offense as they had with 4 wide receivers who are all playing in the NFL right now, or at least going to get a chance to play in the NFL, putting another weapon in the backfield that makes the defense think long and hard about how they're going to cover him could have really done some explosive things for that offense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I don't think he would have transformed the season or the offense or even the running game, but having Dylan Edwards
would have been fun.
in that offense, in that backfield with his versatility, like I just think of even like the short passing game, like the screen game that could have just supplemented what was a lack of a run game a lot of the times last year. Like his ability to take a 4-yard pass and turn it into a 60-yard touchdown, which is something he consistently did last year at Kansas State and even a little bit the year before at Colorado. Like that type of electricity and that one touch could be a touchdown type of impact that Dylan Edwards could have potentially had on that team, like you mentioned, that already had a ton of NFL talent and the best quarterback in college football. That would have been something electric. And also, too, just like him continuing his development at Colorado, like him being a true sophomore last year, potentially going into his true junior season at Colorado, which probably would have been a lot of hype for him. He probably would have been a preseason all-conference pick, probably would have been looked at as maybe the leader on the offense aside from Seton, whoever is going to be at quarterback. So I'm excited to see him again this year. That's going to be another electric matchup, another electric showdown. But yeah, it's another pretty crazy what if. Was that the one transfer for you guys
that's the one that's hurt the most?
And I was going to bring that up. This is the one transfer of the Coach Prime era that really, really hurt. I think, we'll see what happens with Colton Hood, who obviously we were really, really excited about. That one hurt.
Yeah.
But this was the one that was like,
it was
damn.
Like, wow.
The perspective I'll offer you on that is before the Coach Prime era, there was like 7 of those every year.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there goes Christian Gonzalez. There goes Mekhi Blackman.
Yep.
Yeah.
There goes Brendan Rice.
Yeah, I could imagine.
I mean, it felt like every day of the offseason, it was like, oh, we just lost one player we were excited about, or one of the few players we were excited about. And so it's pretty crazy to think now that, and I mentioned this on the show before, but like the transfer portal went from being our biggest enemy to our biggest friend overnight.
Really quickly, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, shout out to Dylan, though. I mean, still one of my favorite player interviews we've had here, and just an awesome kid.
Yeah.
Yep.
His talent is tremendous as well, so wish him the best. And
Rooting for him to have a great season and at least one less win than Colorado.
Yeah. I mean, he can have a bad game at the last game of the year. I don't think we'd be too upset at that. But all right, let's take our first break, and then we'll get back to the list. Shout out to the homies over at Cake Mortgage. Were they special in DSCR loans? Basically what these are, they're going to help you get a home if you have any type of unconventional income, basically. If you don't get a standard W-2 and your income is shown on your taxes, well, that's where our friends at Cake can help you. If you're a business owner, a freelancer, content creator, there's so many jobs out there right now that are maybe unconventional, just different than, what we were doing when we were growing up, our parents were doing when we were growing up, where you get a W-2 and it's all right there. Cake can help you get a loan for a home if that is the case for you. Head to the link in the description to get started. If you've always dreamed about owning income property or you're building your real estate legacy, call 1-800-EAT-CAKE or head to the link in the description because life's better with Cake. Cake Mortgage Corp, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 1734623, licensed in Colorado by the Division of Real Estate. Terms and conditions apply.
Also, you guys know I love my Toyota, but today I'm going to tell you about Toyota's fantastic line of trucks. Trucks have always been a part of Toyota's DNA. For generations, Toyota has built durable legends destined for greatness and perfect for Colorado. Whether you're conquering off-road trails or hauling the weight of the world, there's a Toyota truck that's just right for you, just like the all-new 2024 Tacoma and the return of the classic 2024 Land Cruiser. Toyota also currently offers more low and zero emission vehicles combined than any other automaker to give customers numerous choices to reduce their carbon footprint. Toyota's SUVs take command on the road and on the trail so you can explore the road less traveled without sacrificing smooth city rides and SUVs like RAV4 and Grand Highlander. If you're looking for a new car, you got to go visit a Far Range Toyota store at a location near you. That includes AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corbin Toyota and Boulder, Groove Toyota and Littleton, Mountain States Toyota and Denver, Stevenson Toyota, East and Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is an official partner of the Colorado Buffaloes and the official vehicle of DNVR.
All right, next to our list of what ifs is number 7. This one has quite a big butterfly effect for last year. What looked to be one injury turned into a whole just different case of guys coming in and if Shilo doesn't break his forearm, that's the next what if against Nebraska. I mean, it was so early in the game too that was kind of like an emotional blow to the team as well. I mean, Shilo was one of the leaders of that defense, obviously. He goes out and, an enforcer type against a run first team. He goes out and then, who knows what happens then, but it seemed like he maybe rushed back a little bit. He was aiming for that K-State game. He plays in the K-State game. We all know what happened at that point, and it seems like he was just kind of fighting himself from that moment forward to get through the season.
Yeah, I mean, I nominated this one. You covered a lot of it there. Like, this is something that happened to Shilo, a broken forearm, which is a pretty serious injury. Mm-hmm. Like, opening drive of the football game, on the road against a rival in a very raucous environment. I think the most raucous road environment I've ever been in. But for that to happen to somebody like Shilo, who plays with such a physicality and an attitude, and for him to immediately be taken out of the game, right, in that manner on the first drive, and not really knowing, what if that was a season-ending injury, you know what I'm saying? And obviously Carter, I think, came in and played well. I think the defense really kind of played well, especially that second half, pitching a shutout. But Shilo not being in for the rest of that game, missing the next few games, as you mentioned, returning for the K-State game, which was arguably the most pivotal game of this season, and obviously looking like he had missed a few weeks, obviously dealing with some rust. I just can't help but think if that forearm injury didn't happen, maybe they probably still lose the Nebraska game. But I don't know. Maybe you see a different Shilo Sanders against DJ Giddens in Kansas State in that pivotal game at night at Folsom Field that could have potentially changed the entire season. Could have potentially changed how Shilo is viewed, right? Because I think that was kind of the beginning of when a lot of people started to sour on him a little bit within the fan base and even outside of it. If that injury doesn't happen and, the next week he just looks like the old Shilo again and you continue on the season, that could have potentially changed his draft stock even potentially. And I think certainly how people view him, and also, like I just mentioned, maybe potentially just how the season ended for the team as a whole. Perception
is such a crazy thing, and that really did affect his perception. And I talk about this all the time in football, how everyone expects you to get back and play as fast as you possibly can, but nobody gives you any break once you get on the field.
Right. They think you're totally normal.
If you aren't yourself. And it was so obvious that Shilo wasn't himself against Kansas State.
Yeah.
But, whether it's the ripple effect of the Kansas State game or the ripple effect of him not being out there in the Nebraska game. And also it was one of those things that happened in the Nebraska game that felt like a flash flood was coming through.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's the pick six. It's Shilo getting injured. It's a couple drop passes. It was just like, floodgates have opened. And if that doesn't happen, maybe they're able to steady the ship. Maybe he gets his head on the ball a little more cleanly and it pops out and Colorado gets it going the other way. You never know. But most importantly is like Shilo is considered a very strong piece of the defense in 2023.
Yep.
From that moment on, it just wasn't. No one ever, looked at him that way. And I'd love to know kind of what his perception would be if he never had to deal with that.
Totally.
People forget how good he was in 2023.
Yes.
He was really, really, really good. And kind of seems like forever ago, depending on who you ask. But I think he's going to remind people of who he is as a football player at the next level.
I think so as well. Number 6, and I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid off. What if Colorado beat Stanford? That's supposed to say 2023. That's my bad. But in 2023. I'm actually kind of writing about this. By the time this show is out, this article will be out. Basically a what if of the whole 2023 season. And this, of course, comes up. A few other things come up that we'll get to as well. But that game was...
I should have been allowed to excuse myself for this part of the conversation.
I don't even know what to say still at this point. It's a year and a half past it, and it's just, damn.
I would say similarly to what we were kind of talking about with Shilo, it's perception, right? I feel like that was the beginning of like when the national college football world kind of looked at Colorado.
Turned on him.
Yeah, it turned on him because right prior to that, I think everybody was rocking with Colorado like nationally. Like after the TCU game, after the Colorado State game, even after the first Nebraska win,
game,
like it seemed like America really had a lot of love for Colorado. And then that game was just like, nah, these dudes aren't for real. That's how I think a lot of people thought. And just losing in that fashion to which just wasn't a good team, right? Well, I'm not going to
They were the worst team in the Pac-12.
What was the score at half? It was
29-0, I think.
You just not supposed to lose that game in any scenario. And the fact that they did it with, with a Shador and a Travis on the field, like obviously Travis was coming off the injury, right? From the Colorado State game. That was his first game back, correct? So there were some things, but once you build a 29-0 lead, there's just no excuses. No. And again, I think perception-wise, that was kind of, I think, the turning point to like when this started turning into hate, I feel like a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like everyone's like, oh, these guys are frauds.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And I think the worst part of it, man, it's hard to say. There's a lot of really bad parts of it.
It was a bad night.
But I think the worst part of it is it brought the players apart. And it was one of the reasons why Coach Prime focused so hard on building team camaraderie last season. Because he was like, we need to be able to go through adversity and like still believe like these are my brothers.
Yes,
for sure.
And after that game, the whatever you want to call it, experiment of flipping over an entire roster in one off season showed the cons side of the column. And it was that they, the guys who weren't playing all of a sudden are asking, hey, wait, why am I not playing?
Facts.
The guys who were playing are saying, hey, that guy put me in a bad position. And like, it just fractured the team a little bit to lose in that fashion. And they were never able to kind of regain the magic after that. You imagine that they pull out that win. Travis is 1 week healthier the next week.
Yeah.
They have 5 wins in their back pocket. They've kind of only lost to Oregon and USC at this point. Everything feels great. I mean, they could have won that game 54-0.
Right.
And everyone would have been like, okay,
good.
These guys are actually pretty good. So it really changed everything.
I just remember at halftime thinking like, wow, this is so cool.
Yeah, me too.
And then just unbelievable.
The worst part, nope, I already said that. One of the worst parts is I was with my guy, Tyler Ziskin, and much as I love him, he is however optimistic I am about everything, he's my opposite.
Yeah.
And so as everything's unfolding, he's just like, bro, we're going to lose this game. And I was like, there's no chance we're going to lose this game, bro. Stop. Shut up. You're so annoying with how pessimistic you are. And then just like by the end of the game, I was just silent. Just like, there's nothing I can say. What am I supposed to say? Sorry, you were right. Like,
one of the worst parts about this game also, they wasted an all-time Shilo Sanders performance. He went 33 of 47. That comes out to 70% completion for 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 1 interception.
Yep. And wow, what's crazy is it also was one of 2 really bad decisions I ever saw Shilo Sanders make.
Yep.
Was the throw at the end of overtime.
Yeah.
And obviously he was just trying to force something, make something happen, which he was put under the pressure to do a lot.
He was on fire,
in that
though.
Season, yes. Yeah. But that throw in the back of the end zone was one of 2 times, the other one being, of course, Nebraska, where I was like, dang, that's a really bad throw. But it's kind of crazy to think that we probably saw him throw the ball almost 1,000 times at Colorado. 2 bad decisions the whole time.
Yep. One more before we hit our next break. Number 5. Again, this list is rough. What if Colorado beat Kansas last year?
See, I don't think this is rough. This one wasn't like heartbreaker. This is just a conversation of like, where could this team have gone?
Yeah.
I think if Colorado beats Kansas, it shakes up the entire finish of the Big 12. I think there's no Arizona State Cinderella story.
I almost think Colorado beats Arizona State in a Big 12 championship game.
I don't think Arizona State ever gets there.
I mean, I can't remember what it was. Did Colorado have the tiebreaker ahead of that Kansas game over them?
Yes. And if I remember, Arizona State benefited from all these teams kind of dropping out. It was BYU dropping out, Colorado dropping out. At this time, I remember we were talking in the Slack with the ASU guys, and it was like we had like a 55% chance of making it, and they had like a 1%. And obviously just the Big 12 down the stretch, and it got crazy, and this was part of it. But I think that it completely alters the history here, because I don't know if they ever get that Cinderella run, and maybe Colorado's the team that goes and represents the Big 12 in the playoff.
Yeah,
that's what I think what happens. I think if they beat Kansas, they go to the Big 12 title game against whoever, right? Whether that's BYU or Iowa State or K-State even. And I think they have a really good chance of winning a Big 12 championship and getting to the college football playoff. And you got to think about it too. Like, if they beat Kansas that game, like at that point they're rolling. You got their schedule pulled up.
Yeah,
that would have been their 4th.
They would have been. That would have been their 5th straight win.
Yeah,
and then the next week was the last week of the season.
Oklahoma State
destroyed them. 52-0.
They would have went into the Big 12 title game. 6 straight wins, haven't lost in damn near 2 months.
Yeah. And the one loss was the fluky one that we're about to talk about here in a second.
Right. And you don't really have any bad losses on your schedule, depending on how you look at the Nebraska loss. Like that's what was in front of them. Had they took care of business on the road, against the Jayhawks, it could have really been legendary.
Yeah.
But we're talking about a what if instead.
This game is what gives me anxiety going into every football game, or gives me hope when my team sucks. Mm-hmm. Because there's just games where one team has it and one team doesn't.
Yep.
And there's not always a great explanation for it. Of course, after our team loses, we always want to point fingers. They weren't prepared. They didn't have a good game plan. And like some of those things are often true in these scenarios. But sometimes you just come out and like, for some reason it's just flat.
Yeah.
We've all had a time where we went to the gym and we're like, why does it not feel like things are clicking today? I feel weaker than normal, whatever. It's just like that with a football team. And that's the one that hurts me about this one. And like I said, it's like what gives me anxiety on like the night before a CSU game, even if we're 20-point favorites. It's just like some days you just don't have it. And Colorado just didn't have it this day. I thought they kind of did an admirable job of trying to just like claw their way out of it. But in the end, it just didn't have it.
So it makes college football special too.
It is.
Yeah.
Any given Saturday, truly.
That is true.
It sucks when you're on the other side of it, though.
Sure does.
That's just how it goes, though. Let's take our next break.
But real quick.
Yeah.
And this one wasn't quite as much of this, but like our favorite memory of the Coach Prime era, arguably, is the TCU game. It's kind of the other side of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Colorado came out with all the energy in the world. They were just firing on all cylinders. The TCU was kind of just like shell shocked.
Yep.
On the road, damn near 20-point underdogs. You're not supposed to win in that scenario more times than not.
Yeah, great point. All right, let's take a break. Shout out to the homies at Coors Light. We're premiering the show at a little different time, right? Later in the evening. Sounds like it's time to chill.
Perfect
while this
time.
one's on. Grab yourself a Coors Light. Come hang out with us at the DNVR bar. It's almost tailgate season. We're about 44 days away now from college football.
44.
So just get ready. We're obviously going to have a tailgate out there ahead of the Georgia Tech game, every home game. So come hang out with us. Come hang out at the bar, watch some ball. And make the most out of the times you choose to chill with our friends over at Coors Light. Get it delivered straight to your door by visiting CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado beer.
Shout out to our good friends over at Saturday Neon, who could possibly provide you with an elite gift for the sports lover in your life. Saturday Neon was started by 2 CU Buffs alums. They make officially licensed collegiate logo LED neon signs perfect for your home, your office, your dorm, your fan cave, or even the bar. Check out their new Essentials collection featuring almost 50 of the biggest schools across the country and counting for only $75. Unlike traditional neon signs, these LED signs won't break, they won't shatter, but they still give you that classic uniform glow that you know and love. They last up to 100,000 hours. So you'll be joining your sign for years to come. They're low voltage, so they don't get hot. They're always safe to touch. And like I said earlier, they're just a perfect gift for this upcoming summer season, a birthday gift, whatever you might have in mind. And we even have some Saturday Neon studio signs right here in our DNVR bar. So go use the code DNVR for $10 off your order at SaturdayNeon.com. Shout out to Saturday Neon.
Shout out to the boys. All right. Next on the list is number 4, and we're going to talk about that game that you mentioned. What if Colorado's receivers stayed healthy versus Kansas State? Obviously, it's the Omari Miller game, going crazy, gets rolled up on, gets hurt. Travis, I can't even remember what was wrong with Travis.
Well, that's when Travis's injury happened last year. He caught a dig route coming across the middle from Shador, kind of tried to run over a defensive back, and that's when he hurt his shoulder, which you almost forget about because Travis Hunter won the Heisman Trophy last year, but he was unhealthy for 2-3 games after that.
Yep. Jimmy Horn, I think that's when the ankle really started to play a role. I think Will also got his ankle rolled in that game. Yeah. I think LeJounte was the only like healthy top 5 wide receiver Colorado.
I remember Timmons got hurt late in that game as well.
Oh, yeah. Because Terrell Timmons came in relief of everyone else.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, even O came in because of injury as well. To Travis.
Yeah, and he was balling too.
And speaking of balling, you know who was balling was Shador Sanders.
Yes, he was.
He was slinging that thing all over the yard and continued to do so regardless of who was out on the field with him. But imagine if he has Travis that whole game. Imagine if he has O that whole game. I mean, he could have broke his own record.
Bro, he 34 or 40 for Shador that game. 34 or 40. 388 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick.
What I remember, though, is, and I don't know if you can find this, but I want to say like early in the third quarter or even maybe a little bit before that, he had already eclipsed 300. And then the game got kind of weird and the ball wasn't really in our hands. And then we finally got that pick. And then he goes down and dices their defense too quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just a complete, like, one of those just freak games that happens in the game of football where injuries sometimes come in bunches too.
Yep.
And there's nothing you can do about it except just sit there, and try and bounce back, throw whoever you have available in, and hope that whatever you're losing is minimized at least for that night. But it was too much.
It almost wasn't.
That's what I was going to say. I'm looking at this now, like they should have won that game, even with all those injuries. Like, I mean, obviously we know what happened. They scored the go-ahead touchdown or whatever with about a minute left, which was
I mean, they had
Not a great play,
They had 4
but-
sacks. They had that pick.
The
from
what if
Hood.
might be like, what if they just played zone?
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly. Because Shador balled out of his mind. You got an all-time Amari and Miller game. The defense honestly played pretty well. Again, take away that last touchdown there at the end. And would this have been the best win of the Coach Prime era?
By
right?
far. This would have been, I think,
Yeah.
the highest ranked win
For
too,
sure.
right?
K-State was 18 coming to that game.
Yeah.
Colorado was unranked.
I mean, you even got a banged up Avery Johnson in that game.
Right,
Remember, he
missed
went
some
back to
time,
the
yeah.
locker room 2 or 3 times with like an abdominal
He sure did.
strain or something. I mean, he wasn't running at all. He was passing it fairly good, but
I think is why they were so aggressive on defense at the end there.
Yeah.
I think they thought he was dealing with that oblique injury. There's
Just
no
get
way
to
he's
him.
uncorking a 60-yard ball.
yep.
Wow, he did.
Then he did.
Sure did. The what if for me is like Colorado might run the table.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Because at that point they're 5-1, or at that point they're 5-1.
Yes, they might have gone undefeated in the Big 12.
Man.
What could have been?
Man.
Number 3. What if Colorado didn't rejoin the Big 12 before 2024? I mean,
This
shoot.
one is crazy to imagine.
Yeah.
And it'd be a lot easier to imagine if we talked about what's going to end up being number 1 on this list. But, where are they now? Because
I legitimately don't know the answer to that. Yeah.
I don't either, because there's no way with Coach Prime.
Right. They go to the
The world is just going to allow them to float out into space. Like, someone would have grabbed them up, and if it's not the Big 12, what is it, the ACC?
ACC would have probably been in the conversation, and I mean, there's obviously a possibility it's not the Pac-2, it's the Pac-3.
Well, if they're in the ACC, I can tell you the bus trip would have never happened.
Yeah, that's for sure.
This one is so hypothetical that I don't even know where to go with it, but it's
Yeah.
also not that crazy to imagine. Like, if it weren't for Rick George kind of being like the king of
Definitely.
relationships
Yeah.
in this business, I don't know if any of this happens. And, if Coach Prime's not here, then there's a very, very, very good chance, it's hard for me to even think about, that Colorado is in the WAC 12 right now,
Yeah.
or,
Mountain West.
the Mountain West.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
it's highly conceivable. And it goes back to my tweet the day they fired Carl Durrell, and I said, this is by far the most important hire in the history of the program. Mm-hmm. And then Rick George went and exceeded everyone's expectations.
when it did the damn thing.
Insane.
I think my answer to this is like, if Colorado didn't rejoin the Big 12, they're just irrelevant right now. I don't think they're a
Completely,
relevant team. Like in
But that
terms
can't
of
happen with Coach Prime.
yeah, I mean, and that's kind of
So
the
that's what
crux
makes
of it,
this
right?
thing so
because
great.
like if Coach Prime is, which he is the head coach, right? In
Yeah.
that scenario, like they don't go to the Pac-2 or the Pac-3 or the Mountain West.
I think you're right. They probably end up in the ACC. They have to travel thousands and thousands of miles in a season, like,
That's kind of hard to imagine too, though.
and you just like don't fit in. Like what Cal and
Right.
Stanford are right now, it's like it's just such an awkward. Like
Yeah.
the ACC's at like 17 or 15 teams. Like it's an odd number and everything. Like it's just a mess.
But did we announce we were joining the Big? When did we announce we were joining the Big 12?
like 2 months before last season started, it was in the summer,
2 months before 2023.
24. Well, okay,
I think it was
yes,
before like Big 12 Media Day. So like I think like maybe last spring.
yeah. So it was definitely after 23.
Yeah.
But it was earlier for sure.
I think early 2024. Early in the year of 2024 is what I would say, right?
I don't think so.
I think so.
Well, what would be your guess? Because I'm pretty sure it happened after I got here.
No, I think we knew when we were playing our last Pac-12 game.
I mean, this was the worst kept secret in the history of college football that the Big 12 was going to take a bunch of Pac-12 teams.
But you're talking about an announcement, though, ain't you?
The official, it's official, came out on August 2nd, 2024.
Wow, that's like that's game month.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wasn't there something we had to wait for contracts to expire or something like that?
And then
with the Pac-12, yeah.
the
for sure.
board voted to move from the Pac-12 to the Big 12 in July of 23, though.
Okay, that makes more sense. So that was before the 2023
Yes.
season. Okay, now I don't feel like I'm crazy.
Yes.
What if, though, that doesn't happen and then the whole world gets to see the Coach Prime effect? There's a chance that Colorado's in the Big 10 right now.
Well, I thought you were going to go. Could they have saved the Pac-12 potentially?
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, obviously, it was as everyone kind of blames Colorado for it. This was clearly a
USC's fault. Yeah.
UCLA thing, yeah, by far. But like, so they're probably gone either way. But if a lot of these what ifs actually happen, and Colorado has a stronger 22 first off, but a strong 23, like you've got a really good group of teams like for the future. But
I just think if the Pac-12 actually falls apart, Colorado doesn't get a deal done immediately with the Big 12, and then everyone in the world gets to see that Colorado's the most watched team in 2023. They might be in one of the two.
That's what I was going to say. You think
right
the Big 10 would call before the SEC would in this scenario?
Yes, but that's just because I think the SEC is like
just so uppity.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel that. That would have been crazy though. I mean, I feel like Colorado I feel like is more fit for the Big 10 than for sure the ACC.
Oh,
right.
Definitely.
I mean, certainly geographically. Yeah, that would be cool to see like a Colorado-Illinois game or something like that.
We got Northwestern in a couple of years.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Number 2, and this is, I mean, the butterfly effect from this one is crazy. I wrote about it. It's on the site right now. What if Travis Hunter doesn't get hurt versus Colorado State? I mean, there's so much here. One, it obviously doesn't affect that game, but, Scott, you brought up the Stanford game, how that kind of killed momentum.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was also this game, too, because this was the highest they were ranked. Travis gets hurt. The next day, they even drop a place in the rankings because of that injury. They have, you're going into Autzen Stadium to play Oregon the very next Saturday, and you're
without
just
your best player,
completely deflated. The guy who everything is built on is not available at all. The USC game, that comeback, who would have known? The Stanford, if he was just healthy for Stanford, not returning for injury from Stanford, he was already great in that game. But is he his normal just unicorn, impossible self, where he's just doing everything?
What was the way that we phrased this? What if what?
Travis Hunter doesn't get hurt versus Colorado State.
Yeah, I'd like to say, what if Henry Blackburn doesn't absolutely cheap shot Travis Hunter
for sure
and take him out of the game? Which, who knows what the motivation was behind that. This one's crazy to me, and I think it's actually possible that Travis Hunter has 2 Heisman trophies right now.
That too? I mean, do they make a bowl game? If they win that Stanford game?
Yeah. Go ahead.
And if just going on from that, I mean, this is a complete butterfly effect. You make a bowl game in your first year. You enter the list of all-time college football year-over-year turnarounds.
Right.
Imagine the players you would have got that you were so close to getting that offseason. I mean, the Boo Carters of the world, those high-profile transfers at tackle, on the offensive line, on defensive line. How does that affect the 24 season? And on it goes. This one was really a massive change to what could have been for this team in 23.
If we didn't have such a great number 1 what if, this would definitely probably be it, because like you mentioned, the possibilities if Travis just doesn't get cheap shotted during that game are really endless. Those possibilities, like we were talking earlier about the Stanford game, they probably become bowl eligible if they win that Stanford game. They're definitely bowl eligible in my opinion that 2023 season if Travis doesn't get hurt in this game. You talk about just the momentum, right? Going into Oregon, that was already going to be a tough game in a tough road environment, but without your best player, I mean, the motivation probably just isn't really there. Your minds aren't really there. That's just a massive uphill battle, and I think the result is indicative of that, the final result. And then you go on to the USC game, I think is completely different. At home, again, maybe you have a better showing against Oregon the week before that might give you confidence going against the top
Colorado
25.
went down 24-0 or something in the USC game.
That was clearly, again, a hangover, I think, from the Oregon game, from the all the emotions of the CSU game as well. So, and you mentioned the impacts of making a bowl game 1 year after going 1-11 with that type of turnaround, the recruits that you could have gotten out for that. I mean, I think you can talk about this all day. That's what I'm saying. This is a really good shot for number 1. But
when Colorado doesn't blow out CSU the way that they're supposed to, a lot of people start saying, "Are they as good as we think they are?"
Right.
When they get blown out by Oregon the next week, they start saying, "Are we as good as we thought we were?" And I think that just kind of created its own butterfly effect. That one hurts. Especially because it was avoidable if it was within the The rules?
If he just played the football and made the interception, honestly.
Yeah, or got his hand on it or whatever. Yeah, that one sucks. And we saw last year what a fully healthy Travis Hunter looks like. I don't really know if we ever quite got that in the rest of the 2023 season. Like 90% Travis Hunter still looks like an unbelievable player.
Yes.
But I don't know if we fully got 100. And it's not an injury where we know like the information on nearly as much, but like, you know, when someone gets a high ankle sprain, you're just like, oh, they're not going to be the same the rest of the year. Like, when someone gets a lacerated liver, or was it spleen?
Jesus.
Either way.
Yeah.
Like, there's got to be just certain parts of you that don't feel quite the same.
Yep. Going back to the USC game, too. I mean, that was just a massive moment. You saw, one, just Travis, how much he loves the game, cares about the game. Like, he'll be a coach whenever he's done playing, obviously. It's almost like he was like channeling like some other worldly energy to like put himself in Cormani's like shoes to play through Cormani. Because Cormani, crazy. I remember he got on the field, it was like later in the game, right? It wasn't super, it was like maybe second quarter, right?
Yeah.
And I think he like let up a catch early on or something.
Well, and they literally schemed it so that he would be on Travis's side.
Yes, exactly. So Travis is coaching him through every single play, basically. Like, remember that PBU in the end zone, and like Travis is going crazy when Cormani makes that play and stuff. And it's like you can tell he is really just like honestly some otherworldly like energy trying to channel that.
Yeah, I mean, there's like a great photo or video of it somewhere where like Cormani's lined up super wide, and Travis is literally face to face with him, like telling him what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Oh man, what if? The number one what if, and it's clearly number one. None of this happens. Literally none of this happens. What if what if Colorado didn't hire Coach Prime?
I am not here.
I don't even want.
I am not in this seat.
I almost don't even want to talk about this.
I am not living in Colorado. That's where we start for me personally.
Yeah, it's a crazy one to think about. It almost kind of makes me sick to think about.
Yes,
because I remember the other names that were being thrown out at the time, and I mean it was like Bronco Mendenhall and oh god. I don't even know. That one just really sticks out to me.
I mean, he was probably the next in line, honestly.
Yeah, like, and I remember there was certain media members around town who were actually pining for Bronco Mendenhall over Coach Prime.
Oh my!
You were championing Curt Cignetti though back then.
Well, no. Let's not get this.
Well,
when the whole coaching search started, I was championing
that's what I meant.
Curt Cignetti because I thought there was no chance we could get Coach Prime.
Right.
Which was a much better call than Bronco Mendenhall. But as soon as it was possibility to get Coach Prime, I was obviously all in on Coach Prime. And it's just crazy to think about because I think that the team that I love the most in all of sports is probably completely and utterly irrelevant right now.
Yeah.
And I don't mean just like as irrelevant as they were when they were terrible. I mean like not even really a part of the sport anymore.
Yeah.
Because that's what's happening to teams that aren't part of the Power Four right now is like you're just slowly being escorted out of the party. Just no one's saying it explicitly. They're just like, hey, come over this way. And they're just leading you to the door so they can shut it and lock it. And that's really, I think, where Colorado was headed. We didn't have much to hang our hat on with one good season in 20 years. You know, like we did have a great fan base, but even then, there's schools with great fan bases who are slowly getting phased out, like Oregon State.
Yep.
Right.
So yeah, that's the true part of it to me. And like going back to why I said it was the most important hire, you could feel which way college football is going. We are fully going to the haves and the have-nots, and the have-nots are going to eventually probably going to have to cancel football because it's not going to be profitable for them anymore. So.
And
thank God.
And as long as you have Coach Prime, you are a have.
Oh yeah,
you are in the have part of the party. And this is like the what if of like if Colorado didn't rejoin the Big 12 times like 6. Yes. Because if you don't have Coach Prime as your head coach, where are you like in the conference? Like maybe you are in the Pac-2 or maybe you're even in the Mountain West, which is even nastier to think about. But like instead of that, this program is on the ascend. Competing, at least on the recruiting side, with the blue chip programs in college football. And this is the most watched college football team, in college football. So most of this is due to Coach Prime and a very deserving number one what if here. I mean, you talk about it too, like all the people you guys have met, all the people that we have met.
Literally us, yes.
Literally us. Like, it's just crazy. Like I said earlier, I quite literally wouldn't be here. I quite literally would have never attended a Colorado football game. Yeah, I mean, we can go, and the list could go on and on. People that we've met and have come into our lives because of Coach Prime being the Colorado football coach. It's crazy to think about. Yes.
Not with us. It's a crazy butterfly effect, and so much credit has to go to Rick George. And like, sometimes I just think this stuff gets taken for granted, but like, not every AD in the country would have seen this in the way that Rick George did. And I really do think Rick George saw everything that we were just talking about all in front of his face.
Yeah.
And thought like, what can I do to save this? Where is my emergency parachute ripcord? And like, for him to scan the field, lock in on Coach Prime, and recruit Coach Prime in the way that Coach Prime talks about to this day is like, hey, I'm a need to be needed type of person. And Rick George came to me and he didn't say like, hey, we'd love to interview you for this job. He said, we need you.
Yeah.
Please come save us. If it's not for any of that, like, even just the way that he went about it, we're not here today.
I mean, if you truly allow yourself to like conceive this possibility, what my main conclusion is, it truly shows you how like rare and special of a person Coach Prime is.
Oh yeah.
His ability to bring people together that like who truly don't even know each other, like chat. All these people that we meet at tailgates, the people that you meet in the stands who say they listen to the show, like so much of that doesn't happen because of you don't have one of the most powerful people in sports in the history of sports leading your way. I mean, so I think that just shows why so many people have such a strong admiration for Coach Prime, love, honestly, if you will, without even meeting the man. It's because the gravitational pull he has just on everything around him, everything he touches and impacts is so massive.
You said it. And I mean, like you mentioned it there a little bit, but it's like, there's been like an actual cultural transformation of Boulder, Colorado.
Yes.
100%.
And we're only at the beginning of that. Like, however long Coach Prime stays here, the more it's going to transform. And like, the people that I just see like high-fiving in the stands on a Saturday afternoon, it's just like that type of stuff would have never happened. And it's really cool. And it also makes you realize like Coach Prime is one of how many people that could have pulled this off.
Totally.
I mean, when you talk about the cultural part, it's maybe zero, one of one.
Swear.
But when you just talk about the football side, I don't know, could Colorado have hired Nick Saban? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, those are the list of people.
That's probably the only other name.
Yeah. Like, obviously he was coaching at Alabama at the time, so that wasn't happening. Like, I don't know. But like, this is, and I'll end here, but like, this is the part where I feel like people completely lose the plot when they're complaining about traditions being altered or exceptions being made for certain things. It's like, how have you already forgot where we were headed before Coach Prime got here? And you're going to complain about the fact that they're playing Shador's song after a touchdown pass rather than the fight song, even though the fight song comes right after the song. Like, that's the type of shit we're talking about when we might not even be a program if it wasn't for Coach Prime, and you're going to complain about little things like that. Like, that to me is where I'm just like, have some damn perspective.
100%.
And the fact that he, after Jackson State, was courted by other schools. Like,
totally.
Could have went elsewhere. Like, we've heard a couple other schools that were trying to get Coach Prime to be their head coach.
Neely showed me the pregame show mock-ups of other schools that they were talking to, and I was just like, wow.
Yeah. And even on a more granular level, like, I think Shador and Travis would have been fine in terms of their NFL future, but like, does Jimmy Horn Jr. get drafted if Coach Prime doesn't come to Colorado?
No way.
Does DeJounte Wester get drafted if Coach Prime doesn't come to Colorado? Like, these are just two lives I'm talking about being changed because of Coach Prime deciding to... families, bro.
If you get inside of the gravitational pull of Coach Prime, your life is going to be changed.
100%.
We can attest to that.
Yes, exactly. It's crazy. We got about 5 minutes left. Any others that stood out to you that you'd be willing to throw out? I mean, maybe even historical ones for the Buffs?
There's some like old recruiting ones.
MJD.
Maurice Jones-Drew. What if he becomes a Buff? What if
Is that close?
Junior Seau? Yeah, Maurice Jones-Drew is committed.
Wow, I don't think I ever knew that.
Yep.
Wow.
And then Eric Bieniemy left to join Carl Durrell's staff at UCLA.
And then he followed him over there.
And he followed him over there. Junior Seau was another one that he could have been a Buff. So those are ones I think about. What if, like, the BCS doesn't screw up and put Nebraska in the national championship game after Colorado just beat their ass?
Yeah.
And Colorado gets into that now. You were playing a very juggernauty Miami team, so Colorado probably doesn't have 2 national championships. But as we talked about the Kansas game, anything can happen in a football game.
Facts.
So that's one. I'm sure many more, would come if I were to write them all down. But there's a lot of like near miss national championship stuff in the early 90s.
Some recent ones that I remember we talked about were if they hired Sark.
Yep.
What year was that exactly?
That was the Carl Durrell cycle.
So 2020?
Sark was the offensive coordinator at Alabama. Colorado was going after him hard.
Wow.
And Alabama just decided to pay Sark to be offensive coordinator more than what Colorado could pay him to be their head coach.
Yeah.
So that got shut down pretty quickly.
Wowzers.
But that one, I mean, I think that would have helped a lot. Mm-hmm. The other one is like,
I mean, he's built a powerhouse. Obviously, it's Texas, but he's a good coach.
yep. And this one probably doesn't have a great ending, but it's like, what if Mel Tucker doesn't leave at midnight for Michigan State?
Yeah. Or just leaves 2 months earlier. Like,
yeah, sure. So you could go down these paths forever. It is a very deep in the off season topic, but it's a fun one. I'm sure I'm gonna get tagged in something. How could you forget this one? But
yeah.
There's a million.
Yep.
Drop your top what ifs in the comments, y'all.
Please do. Another one we talked about, I mean, if Alto was fully healthy, I mean, that's another just so much happened with that. But, like,
Well, if you think of all of the running backs that have joined in the Coach Prime era, like, that was the one that seemed like they got a superstar.
He was so good at Houston. I think he set a freshman record
19
with rushing
touchdowns.
touchdown. Yeah, 19 of them things.
I don't think we have
monster.
19 rushing touchdowns in the Coach Prime era.
I don't think so.
So either. Have they hit double digits?
Yeah, because you think like Shador had a few.
Okay.
They've definitely hit double
Okay.
digits.
All right.
Travis even had at least one.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah, it's true.
There you go. That's the list full of what ifs. An interesting one.
It sure is an interesting one.
Crazy.
Now, pick yourself up by your bootstraps and get back into reality.
No, isn't it wild though that we're already able to do 10 what ifs of the Coach Prime era? Like, there are a lot of people who didn't even think Coach Prime would be at Colorado long enough.
That's true.
for
Actually,
us to
good
even
point,
do
bro.
this.
Man.
You know what I'm
Good
saying? And
point.
we're sitting here, Denver, 3 years later,
Yeah.
about to enter our 3rd season of Coach Prime as the Buffalo's head coach.
And guess what? Nothing's changed. People still think he's going to leave.
Yep.
100%.
I really thought the extension would like cool that down. Nope.
Nope. The team still sucks. They,
Yep.
bad culture. They don't coach.
But if they're good, then that's a hell of a coaching job.
That's
Someone
true.
better is going to want him.
That's true.
Bro, I don't know if you were on this show, but we did one last week, Jake and I, we were reading something. Might have been CBS Sports, and this blurb literally said RK. If you ignore the results.
Oh, this was Bill Connolly. I think.
He goes, if you ignore the results, or what was it, bro?
Oh,
was
my God. I'll find this. Hold on.
It was basically something saying that was like if you ignore the results, then this has been a success or something like that.
it was
just the
something
crazy. I'm like,
stupid
bro, people
obvious.
really talk themselves into circles to try to like discount what has happened and what is currently happening with Colorado. And I definitely got that quote wrong, but if we can find that, bro,
I've got
I
it
was sitting here mind blown by that.
If we ignore the incredible talents of Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter and the preposterously QB-centric offense Pat Shurmur crafted to showcase Shilo Sanders, and we only look at the results, the first 2 years of the Deion Sanders era were pretty spectacular.
Bro said if he said if we only look at the results, then it was spectacular. What else are we looking at?
Well, also, what was the point of the qualifiers?
That's what I'm saying. I was like, bro, we just lost the plot. Bro said if we just look at the proof, then they actually did pretty good.
Like, if you ignore all the bullshit and all the made up opinions and false reports, then yeah, it's been pretty good.
What the hell?
I couldn't believe that, dog.
What are we playing for if not results?
I don't know. No idea.
What else matters?
Clicks, maybe.
What else matters besides the results?
I
just couldn't believe that, bro.
Okay, now I'm like starting to understand what he was even saying. He's basically saying like they got there in a gimmicky way.
Yeah.
But the results are pretty impressive.
Yes.
It's wild, dude.
All right,
chat.
Let's see what happens this year.
We hope you guys had fun and enjoyed this. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop your favorite what if in the comments below. And we will be back tomorrow, normal time, 1 p.m. Thursday. See y'all then.
Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.